And we're back. Another great episode of the Savoir Brooklyn Podcast, the podcast that teaches you all you need to know about Brooklyn from the perspective of Brooklynites that been here pre-bike lane. No shots at the bike lane. I ride the bike lane. I, riding that on a regular basis. But it's your boy Patagonia Lattes, and I got a special recurring guest that I'm pulled up to the latte cave, we could call it. Why don't you tell the folks who you are if they don't know, and remind those who do know who you are.
How you doing? My name is Jamane Weeks. I'm the creator of Lips Cafe. I'm a fellow Brooklynite before the bike lanes. Where you couldn't even, if you was biking, the cars would honk you. Now you can't even do that. Now you might get arrested if you honk a bike or something. But I'm a fellow Brooklynite, Flatbush, and we here, bro. And if I say certain London slang right now, it's just because I just watched Top Boy and listened to a whole bunch of grime. So you might hear me say some things, mate.
Here we go. We here, bro. And after this, we're going to get some food.
You know the vibes.
And for those listening, we talking about like actual vittles, like actual food. Not the kind of food they was talking about in Top Boy. I don't want no problems.
Yeah, we're not talking about the peas, fam.
Yeah, not the peas.
We're not talking about the peas, fam.
But, since we talking about food. So, for those that don't know, Jamane is owner of Lips Cafe, one of the dopest spots in the city. It's a coffee shop, it's a restaurant, it's a vibe, it's a meeting place, it's a melting pot. One day you might walk in there and people dress like me, next day people dress like him, next day people walking in with the Undertaker hat on and the Chelsea boots, or the turtleneck and the chain and the J. St. Patrick coat. I literally walked in there with 5 different fits on in a week. And this man knew exactly who I was. I went there with the suit on. He was like, hey, good morning. The next day I had the sweats on. He was like, hey, yesterday you had a suit on. And that's when I knew I could rock with the spot, because he treats everybody the same regardless of how you show up. Sure. So that's who he is. If I don't remember, we did a live event there that went bananas earlier this year. But, we talking about food, right? And what I've been struggling with as a foodie is I love going out to eat, right? I go out to eat mostly in Brooklyn now. Yeah. I go to Manhattan, I go to Queens. Can't go to the Bronx because, who goes to the Bronx, right?
Yeah, I've been in the Bronx before COVID. I'm not going to lie. I love the Bronx, though.
Shout out to the Bronx. We got mad love for the Bronx.
It's a far out,
People in the Bronx, send me some restaurants, I'll pull up there too. It's all love. Yeah. But what I've been struggling with is that when I go to these spots to eat, if I go to the spots that are more I'll say an eccentric or an eclectic crowd where they take everybody from people in flannel shirts to us, it's a chill vibe. Sometimes it's a long way to get seated, but it'll be fairly cheap menu. Drinks will be fairly priced, and there's typically no auto gratuity, right? But I find every spot that I go to that's curated and or owned by black folks, what I've been finding consistently is the menu has inflated prices, and then the menu is almost written super passive aggressively, all drink orders are final. If you don't know what you're ordering, then ask manager's discretion on returning drinks, or no drinks will be returned. I'm like, goddamn, right? Yeah. But then I'm seeing auto gratuity slapped onto all dinner parties. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's 18%, sometimes it's 20%. And where the struggle comes in is that the price is already inflated. And examples would be okay, a lamb chop might cost $28 in most places. Mm-hmm. These spots be charging $40. Mm-hmm. Right? A pork chop might be $40. A snapper might be $38, $40. But then you're also charging $15 to $16 to $20 per drink, $16 per app. Mm-hmm. And then your auto-grat in 20%. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's hefty per person.
Sure.
Right? All right, but, you can put that to the side for a second. But then the other piece, too, is that even recently, I went out to a place, and in the 90-minute seating, the server stopped by twice. Yeah. And I had asked for some plates and some small plates, because we ordered a bunch of stuff to the table. There's 4 of us. We ordered mad stuff to the table. We was going to just try everything, share everything, eat family style. We never got the small plates.
Oh, wow.
Right? We actually asked somebody else, still didn't bring them, so maybe at the 75-minute mark they came. Right? But that's crazy. Right? And I've asked a bunch of my friends that are entrepreneurs about this, and some are well, talk to the manager. And I'm like, yo, bro, sometimes when I go out, I don't have the main character energy to where's the manager? Sometimes I just want to know that the service is going to be like at a certain level, especially if you're going to auto-grab me. If you auto-grab me, but it's so dope, it's a vibe, it's lit, and it's a flow, then I'm like, you know what? They earned that 20%.
Sure.
But if you slapping that on there, I feel like you almost create a race to the bottom where people don't even give a shit about the service.
Sure.
So I want to ask you as somebody that's on both sides, because you go out and you also have a business. What's your thoughts on the auto-grat, not for the tables of 4, not for the tables of 6, because I can understand that.
Yeah.
Right? But the auto-grat on all parties.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to talk about it on both sides. As a cafe owner, because I'm not a restaurant. I don't try to fancy myself that.
But you do have restaurant quality.
Yeah, I was just about to. Yeah. I'm gonna get into that.
Busting.
Like
the food is busting.
So,
shout out to Mama Weeks too. The food is busting.
The chef Mama. But so for us, like, I don't do automatic gratuity because a lot of times, for me, people might come and get a latte, and I got a lot to go orders. So it's like somebody just comes and gets a latte, or they just come and get like a cafe and they leave, and I charge them 20% gratuity. That's just weird. I just give them the choice, and I believe in choice. Because sometimes, somebody, if you give someone a choice, they might auto-grad you 30% if the service is great. They might auto-grad, but there's also a lot of people, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm looking at both sides. There's a lot of people who don't tip anything. Like, you know what I mean? And you have to also, like, balance that out. Because there are people who literally will get the best service ever and not tip according to it, or maybe tip $10 and they had $200 bill, a $300 bill, and they just put $10. Yeah. So I don't really believe in automatic gratuity though. That's just my personal preference, because I believe we should have a choice of what we tip based on the service. Because like you said, like some people might because they know they're gonna get a gratuity regardless, they just might not give the best service, and that's not how it should be. It should be like, no, you earn your keep. Just like if you take an Uber, you have a choice if you want to give them a tip or not based on the service. And to me, it should always be based, like, a tip should be, it's the literal definition of a tip should be like based on the service. Like that should be the literal definition of it. So as a consumer, when I go out, I don't necessarily always like the automatic gratuity. But if it's an automatic gratuity, I just be like, that's their preference, because I'm a restaurant owner and I know that for whatever reason, they have their reason. It may not be the right reason, it might be the wrong reason, but I know as an owner how hard this is. The price of, just the cost of doing business. Yeah. People don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? They just, people don't really understand. They might see that you're busy and you're busting one night, but they don't know, like, if, from, especially like restaurants, like from 4, there's a lot of days that restaurants are slow. Like, I don't really always have that problem because I'm like a cafe. Like, you know what I mean? Right. And I still have my slow days, but a lot of restaurants, it's just peak times, and that's their times, and they have to base everything on those peak times. And restaurants also have a lot more people working. You have to have a server, you have to have a bartender, you have to have a runner, you have to have a, it's just like, restaurants have so many people, like, they might have 10, 12 people working. With me, I might have 4 or 5, so, it's different. But I do not, like, because I know the cost of all this stuff, I go some places and I think the prices are preposterous. Because I know the price. Like, I know what it costs. Like, like a lamb chop, like, what you said about that is crazy. But, like I said, I gotta look at it both ways. Like, I also have to do a lot of events where, like, that, when those events go well, like, that just, like, it doesn't even matter what I did that day, because that event, and a lot of restaurants don't have that. They have their business as usual every day. So I try to look at it like as a nuance, like a whole, like, umbrella. Yeah. And based on that, but yeah, I go to a lot of places and I'm telling you, like, the price. And then I'm, also, you go out with, friends and stuff, and I remember I went to catch and I'm like, man, the price of this salmon is whatever. But then a friend of mine was like, well, it's catch. And I'm like, but this is lips. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, what does that mean is catch? Like, you know what I mean? That shouldn't be the reason that they have to put their price up to like a price that doesn't even make sense because they catch. But then, you know, when I think about it, I know that the rent and catch is crazy. So, you know, you have to like look at like everything. Like, I'm trying to look at everything, you know, that goes into it. But, like I said, I'm definitely with you on the gratuity. I think it should always be based on the service. And I think that it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just weird sometimes to like put that on you. Because at the end of the day, like a tip is not an obligation. You don't have to give a tip. Like it's literally, you don't have to give a tip. Like it's a choice. So when they take away that choice from you, it's kind of weird. And I just don't agree to that. And a lot of places that I like the most don't have that. You know, they don't have this automatic gratuity. You know, they might have like a high, there's places where it's like, if you they might have a high like they might put up like the percentage. So they might say instead of like 10, 15, 20, it might be
18, 20.
Yeah, but you still have a choice and you still have the option to customize it. You know what I mean? And there's some places that don't do that. So I don't know. It's like from both sides of the fence, I be just trying to like understand and you know. Same thing with wait times and stuff like that. I try to understand because I know that a lot of times a lot of things be happening that, especially with food and prepping and running out of stuff and having to make more of it and you know it's just a lot that goes into it. But at the end of the day, the service is the most important thing, and everything should be based on the service. The price, the tips, everything should be based on the service that you're getting. Because at the end of the day, the customer is who keeps us open, and the customers. You know, should be treated more like family than like this like build, like, you know, this thing. So I'm always about the customer and always about like creating that family and that like really like careful, curated, like, you know, experience for people based on just who they are individually. And then, you know, everything comes from that.
And I think your opinion is extra valid because you are legitimately on both sides of it. And the point you raised that I really want to pull out of that, beside, you know, the choice and the freedom of choice part of that is, I want to be clear about something. I'm not saying black restaurant owners should not be able to charge catch prices. I'm saying if you're going to charge those prices, then you got to make sure that you provide a commensurate level of service, right? Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be, and I see this on the gram too, where even Jamel Hill was saying that it seems like black consumers are being penalized, and in some places, it's like they're looking at you like a meal ticket, right?
Yeah.
But they don't care about service. Every butt in the door gotta get taxed, basically. Mm-hmm. It's like a black consumer tax.
Yep, exactly.
And my thing is, again, I'm happy to treat a black restaurant owner the same way as I would the owner of any fancy spot in Midtown or anywhere else. But you got to make sure that you keep that same energy and provide that same energy that they provide.
Yeah, and based on that, like, one thing I would say, if you do go to catch, 9 times out of 10, impeccable service. You know what I mean? Like, when you go to those spots, because that's what they make sure. And also, it's not only, you know, they're also not only thinking about black consumers. Like, those spots be thinking, you know,
tourists,
Halle Berry might come in.
Everybody.
You know what I mean? Halle Berry might come in there. So no matter what, the service got to be top tier. And along with that, with something you said is like, as a black business owner, especially, like, I feel like I'm not gonna speak for any other business, any other black-owned business, cafe, restaurant, clothing brand, otherwise. I'm gonna speak on myself. The way I look at the black consumer and the black people that do come in the Lips Cafe, I treat them like that's my community, like, cause we each other's resource. Like, if you come there, like you come there, my man comes here every morning. Someone sold it, you know, he got the discount now. He got the, you know, see, he don't even have to worry about gratuity. He get the discount. He get the opposite.
I was gonna talk about that separately, but that screen flip joint, he was like, "Yo, press no tip."
Exactly.
But that's the other piece I was gonna bring up.
Yeah.
And remind me later to bring up, but the screen flip joint.
But why did that happen though? You know, because it didn't happen out of nowhere. It happened because, you know, we built such a great relationship based on you just coming in the Lips, right? And that's how every black business should treat their black communities. You know, you've helped me out, I've helped you out, we've done things for each other, and that's based on you just coming in one day. You know, we didn't even know each other prior, and now we like fam. So that's how it should be. So,
but
I feel like
to jump in real quick, and I hate doing that because on other podcasts people be cutting. I'm like, don't cut up. But when I walked in there, you had main character energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I walked in there, it was mad early in the morning. I'm tired as hell, but I had heard about the spot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steph. You know, she was raving about the spot. She was like, "Yo, Lips Cafe, blah blah blah." So went through there, and you had main. He's like, "Hey, what's up, bro? Morning." You had main character energy. Yeah. I'm like, "Yo, I like that," and you seem like you gave a shit, right? And then when I took from there, it was like, "Yo, he's either the manager or the owner because." You seem like you cared, right? Like I was asking questions about the menu. He's like, "Yeah, we got that. We can make that." Or if you don't see what you like up there, I could tell me what you like in it, right? You had main character energy, like you cared about providing the service.
For sure.
So I think that's why for me it was easier to let my guard down. Because again, I tell people all the time, you can't judge people based on how they look. Judge them by how they act. Judge they aura. Because it doesn't matter if I got a suit on or sweats on. I'm still leading with as much positive energy as I can in every situation. And that's why when I'm in Midtown anywhere else and I go to these restaurants, the service levels be crazy and then I'll meet the maitre d' or like I'll ask for the manager and they get scared. Like, "Oh my gosh, you want the manager?" I say, yo, I'm talking to the manager. Manager comes over, "Hey, sirs, everything..." No, I'm only calling you because everything is great. Ronaldo or, Sharkeisha was phenomenal. And I'm calling you over because I think sometimes people only call a manager to complain, but I call a manager to say, one, I'm a big yelper, but two, y'all doing y'all thing. So when I do that, they're like, "Well, thank you." 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter if it's the Midtown Steakhouse or it's anywhere else. It makes their day because so often they get calls for the bullshit. So when I call with that kind of energy, then it's like, "Hey, thank you so much for that. By the way, you were drinking an old fashioned. This one's on us."
I got like 3 different things.
Go ahead, man.
So, first thought, I was gonna end the last one like weigh each other's resources, right? So, I care about the black people that come in there more so than anyone else, and that's not to say I don't care about anyone else. But
all
I
customers
care about
matter.
everybody. I care about everybody. No, I care about everyone. Like I care about the whiter Asian kids that's going to downstate and in school.
But stop sitting in my seat though. That seat in the middle by the plant, by the section court. That's my joint on Fridays. That's where I work.
I care about everybody that comes in there. But at the end of the day, like no one's gonna truly care about my business like the black consumers. It's just part of it. Like for the most part, obviously you have ignorance. Everywhere has ignorance, but for the most part, and if you guys are my resource, I'm your resource. So if I do have a great day, because I was supported so much by you guys and whoever else comes in there, then okay, at night I don't have to charge you to do something there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because now we're each other's resources. Now I did well, so now man, just do this creative thing that I want to see and put your ideas to life so maybe you can see it and it can spark, something that makes you keep going because you saw it, But I can't do that if I don't do well that day.
Right.
Because now I got to think about the Con Ed. Like, what I mean? And I got to think, exactly. Like, what I mean? I got to think about the garbage, this, that, and the third. I treat everyone the same because, that's natural law. That's a natural law of life, right? And it's like, I think so much of, things and complication, divisiveness, and negativity happens because we don't treat everyone the same. And that just goes across life and genres of things, not just, going to a simple cafe.
If you see me in Crocs or Birkenstocks, don't judge me. Don't you judge me.
That's all I wear. So right now I got sweats on,
No, because
they cool sweats.
Because even a lot of these restaurants, I'll be at the bar in like Crocs and people looking like, why the fuck is he wearing Crocs? And then they'll see the owner come out and hug me, and it's like,
nah, man, listen,
he's a somebody.
I'm telling you right now, unless I'm going to a wedding. I was watching this thing the other day. Right now I'm really in the grime, so this is one of the biggest grime artists in UK. Like his name is Central C. And I'm not gonna say I would do this. I wouldn't do this because I was just about to say the only time you probably gonna see me in a suit is if something real professional or a wedding. But he went to his homeboy's wedding, one of his best friend's wedding, in a Montclair jacket and some track pants. And I thought that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, nah, like, but I don't know. See, but you don't know the service. Like, maybe it was fresh off a plane. Now you still can find a suit.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to do it, that's one thing. But weddings, I tell people all the time, weddings are the one opportunity where 95% of the people at weddings are single women.
That's a fact.
And women like seeing guys dressed up. So, actually, I ain't gonna say too much on camera, but weddings are the cheat code, right?
I'll be totally honest, because this is not nothing to do with me. This is not my story. The last wedding I went to, my man, who I will not name, he took me on his hotel that night.
That's regular wedding. That's regular.
That night, I'm like, the next day he hit me, I'm like, what?
Bridesmaids get clipped all the time at weddings. That's regular wedding shit.
Too much love in the air and something. They like, I need it tonight.
Right. So, you see Best Man 1?
Exactly.
Like, people really, like, that's what it is.
It's like an aphrodisiac or something.
Yeah, man. It's the love and the lust in the air, man.
Like, crazy.
But yes, man. If you see me at your favorite bar and I got Crocs or lugs on.
No judging.
Not lugs. Crocs or Birkenstocks on, but some Air Dads.
We not the ones. We just want peace. We just want a nice old fashioned. For me, he wants something else. I want an old fashioned neat. I'll do perfectly bourbon.
I'll do old fashions, or I'll do like a mezcal Negroni.
All I got is a smile for you.
Yeah, man. I'll be chilling. Listen,
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I'm friendly. If you see me outside, if you see me, ain't you lattes? Ain't you Patagonia? I'm friendly.
That's it.
I don't want no problems with nobody.
Leave him alone.
Leave me alone, man. Leave me alone, man.
Brownsville. It don't matter. Once you hear you from Brownsville, leave him alone.
I gotta shout out Crown Heights too.
Shout out to the Heights.
All my Crown Heights guys be like, yo, you always talk about your Brownsville side, but you live in Crown Heights too. So shout out to Crown Heights too, man. But I don't want no problems with nobody, man. I don't want no problems with nobody.
You know, I never said this on camera, but I was born in Brownsville, so
my first deal.
Yeah, my first.
Brookdale Hospital, man.
My first 5 years of life I spent on Thomas Boylan.
There you go.
And then we moved to Flatbush on 35th and Snyder.
That's the game changer. So you're a Brownsvillian. I mean, they say it's your high school years.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But you can always claim where you was born at, especially you spent 5 years there.
5 years. Kindergarten. I left after kindergarten.
There you go, man. So your third point that you was gonna raise was about the reviews.
Yes. I would like really appreciated what you said about reviewing, because you said like you tend to try to only leave positive reviews, and if you have a negative review, you try to hit up the restaurant itself, or the cafe itself or anything like that itself, and give you criticisms, and your criticisms would be like, he don't play with screen, he tell you what it is, like, he don't sugarcoat it. And I appreciate that, because a lot of times, sometimes you get reviews, and in the review they literally say they've been there 8 times and had the greatest of service, but this one time something went off that probably was for a reason they were just asked, and they finally leave a 1 or 2 star review. But for the 8 times that they had the impeccable service, they said in the beginning of that review, they never left a 5-star review or a 4-star review. And sometimes that's a pet peeve of mine, because things do happen, and if you just tell us about it, it's a lot of variables in business, any business. I'm sure, you've had to return things on Amazon.
Or even Starbucks.
Exactly.
If this man make you a latte and you feel like, damn, I've been here every day for the last 2 months, this one tastes different. If you would tell the Starbucks barista, hey, this isn't a cold brew.
That's it.
Let them fix it. Give him an opportunity to cure it. Exactly. Right? In business,
if that Sweet Catch, if that Sweet BK,
Rogers, Rumball, the House,
Uncles, anywhere else, like Drip. We all. One thing I know, because I know Drip and I know all of these owners personally, nobody doesn't have their heart in it.
Right.
None of those businesses I just mentioned don't have their heart and want the best for the community and want the best for the people that come in there. I know that for a fact. So, and we can't control our employees all the time. We can't. Somebody once told me, he was the owner of business in Barry. He's like a mentor of mine to this day.
Shout out to the boy, Chris. That's the bro god, man. Shout out to him, man.
You know what I mean? He told me, you pay employees for their time. Everything else you get is a plus. And that's a fact. You pay people for their time. Everything else you get is a bonus. So, you know what I mean?
I'll challenge you on that a little bit in the sense of, I feel like you can train them in what the service expectation is. Now, the execution of it, fine, right? But I want to ask you, like,
for me, like, as as a manager, it's crazy that I say that. You know, it's crazy. I'm a managerial boss.
Right.
I don't even. You know, these are just superlatives. These are just
I've told you about you have people that you work with that I was like, yo, bro,
for sure.
What's up with your man?
And the thing is, like, you know, you have to understand. People have what, you know, with the age environment I'm in, 20 plus years of being who they are, 30 plus years of being. I'm not their mother. I'm not their father. I'm somebody that's trying to, like, you know, manage them and I build relationships with these people. So sometimes I'm a mentor and I'm like, I got one guy for me. He, you know, he went through things in life. He spent 4 years in jail, and I see that he's trying. You know, and sometimes you may not see that he's trying. Like, I think that's something, you know, you may not see that he's trying, but I can see that, you know, he has these tendencies that's built in him. But he's trying to be, like, if I tell him, man, you're being too, whatever to customers. Like, I've never seen him not like, hey, how you doing? Now he changes, you know what I mean? But they still have nuances that you have to keep punking it. And like, but what I care about is seeing progress. And if I keep seeing progress, because you never, you know, just like myself, like somebody, you're never gonna like everything about somebody. What I try to do is figure out what's somebody's pluses and what's somebody's negatives, and try to put them in their best position to be successful. So if I know that you're a great barista, but you're not good with customers, I'm gonna try my hardest not to have you cashier. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to try my hardest to make you just deal with the drinks. If I know that you're great with customers, I'm gonna try my hardest to put you there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to put people in positions, and then if I have to be there with them to keep them in those positions, I'll be there. There's some people I'll leave them there, and I wouldn't be there. And there's some people I'm like, oh, if he's working a shift, I want to be there. You know what I mean? And it's just the way it is. Like, you know what I mean? And then, because what I realize is, you know, we all have good things about us and bad things about us, and we just have to, like, try to hone in on the positives. And that's
except for me, I'm an angel. I got nothing bad about me.
You know, he's an angel. I heard some stuff off camera. I don't know.
It's all lies. I recycle, and I pay taxes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you just gotta work. You know, especially try to help people. You know, the most you can.
I think I know what you're talking about, because there's days I've gone in there, and it's like, but here's the thing. I feel like I'm so critical of people is because I know people from every walks of life. So some of my closest friends are from all walks of life. I got uncles, cousins who've done a lot of time, right? And I've walked in there at times and I'm like, yo, I could tell boy did some time. But those be the ones most of the time, especially when we're in with their family, they be the coolest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They be like, chilling.
Just don't mess around.
Just don't bother.
Exactly. You just don't bother because then it switches. But I'm telling you, and he, like, I remember even the other day, like, I'm not gonna, you know, say, because sometimes, like, you know, you know, things happen. I have to get on my bed with them. But like Saturday, like yesterday, it was like extremely busy in there. He was late, and that pissed me off. So it started off in a way, but it was like 11 to 12 was extremely busy, and like in the midst of it, I'm like kind of like, fuck, I get like, and he was like, yo, calm down, bro. He's like, we're gonna get through this. And like, that was the one time I'm like, damn, like,
sometimes you need that
dude. I'm like, that dude really care though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like,
he said we gonna get through
it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, before, like, you know, we go there. My mom, you know, don't really like him because of that, because she doesn't understand him. My mom don't come from that world. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I see that he's trying. If he didn't try, like, there's employees I had that never, like, I would tell them the same thing and they'll do it the next day. And if I'm not there, they'll do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like crazy. But when I see somebody trying, it's like, I'm gonna work with them. You know what I mean? When they tell me they look up to me, I'm gonna work with them. You know what I mean? So it's just,
but you have to also give yourself that credit too, because even me walking in there, suit or not, when I walk into a spot, I see somebody that I can identify with, and you like, oh, I'm the owner. To me, I feel like we the owner, right? I feel like, you know, and because like I've told you several times, I literally have. I ain't got the extra fancy joint you got at the spot, but I got I have a whole setup. I got the syrups, I got everything in my house, right? But for me, I still feel like I'm gonna go spend money there. Now listen, Mama Weeks roster pasta, her juices, her even the goddamn cream spinach.
Yep, and nobody care more than her.
Even the I call it my alkaline bowl, but the chickpea joint and all that, the food is, and even like my KLT, which I don't order the KLT no more because Mama Weeks one day I thought she was gonna kill me in there. I ordered like a special BLT, and she was like,
My mama real Aries, man.
Yo, she was like, what the fuck you want on this shit? I'm just like, never mind. never mind. I'll take it because
you want Chipotle. I know exactly what you want. I read Chipotle.
He was
a BLT with no tomatoes. That don't even make sense.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he was saying
and Chipotle.
He was saying
turkey bacon. That's
yes.
Yeah.
He was saying, yo, listen, put this on there. He was telling her this shit. She was like, the fuck is he wanting this shit? I'm standing right there.
She didn't know though. She didn't know it was yours. That's the thing. She didn't know it was yours. She nobody know. Everybody be as me. My mom more spicy than me. Like
so then
don't know.
I said, Ashley, Mama Love, don't worry about it. She's like, oh, it's yours? Okay. I said, no, it's fine. Because I felt like, you know what? And since then, I have not ordered that.
Yeah.
I stopped ordering it.
I see.
Because I don't want no smoke. Because, listen, Mama Weeks she's a gem. She's a patron saint.
Smoke with that avocado
protector.
toast.
But I don't want, but listen, avocado toast is amazing too. Food is amazing. Yeah. Food's amazing. But what we're not going to do is get sidetracked with the friendly banter. Because we got serious stuff to talk about. Serious stuff to talk about. Okay, so we got through the auto-grat piece.
Yep.
And, that was a very important piece to talk about. The other thing that's plaguing our society right now is the serious stuff.
Right.
It's a serious.
Bring it on.
Dogmageddon. The proliferation of dogs in our community is a real thing. There's
like
dogs.
One person to one dog right now.
There's dogs on airplanes. There's dogs on trains. And not like, listen, I always gotta say these disclaimers because there's always somebody in the comments. Actually, I'm gonna backtrack for a second because with the auto-grat piece, I spoke about it publicly on several different platforms. In the comments, people was like, it's giving broke. If you ain't got it, just say so. To be clear, the people that go along with any kind of auto-grat and weird pricing, just say you've never been anywhere. Because if you know better, you expect better. And that's why restaurant owners that I bring on here respect me is because I'm speaking from a place of experience, but it's also like, I know what an old-fashioned can taste like because I can make my own old-fashions. I can make my own mezcal Negronis. I can make, now, I can't make Rasta pasta and all that kind of stuff, but I can make a lot of stuff myself. I know how to make a Negroni, how to make a Manhattan, how to make an old-fashioned. I know how it's supposed to taste. I've taken cocktail making classes. I know how to make margaritas. I know how to make a lot of stuff for myself, so I know how it should taste. I know that an old-fashioned should be hand-stirred. So if you're shaking an old-fashioned, I'm looking at you crazy.
Nah.
If you're putting crushed ice in my old-fashioned, I'm looking at you, right?
Like an ice cube.
Like a giant ice block.
A giant one of them, too.
Right? So, and that wasn't playing. So, y'all don't be knowing what y'all supposed to expect, so y'all just go along with whatever.
Going back to the gratuity, you go to Europe and you try to give them a tip, they're going to try to slap you.
Right.
They don't want no tip. That's offensive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
but y'all wouldn't know that if you haven't left your 4-block radius.
Yeah.
So, Dogmageddon, how do you feel when, and I've been this when this happens, so I'm going to ask you, how do you feel when somebody walks in and is like, I'll take a puppuccino, and they dog pisses in your spot, but then they put a dog on your couch.
To me. All these things have happened to me. And you know,
and I've been there.
Yeah, like, I mean, one time, I'm going to just tell the story. I'm going to give my opinion, but I don't really have an opinion. Like one time,
his views are not the views of the spot. It's just
So, this white guy came in there with a huge dog, and he put the dog on the couch, and the whole time I was like mesmerized. But it's such a touchy thing. Like you be like, yo man, take the dog out of the couch. I wanted to go there so bad and say it.
What's stopping you from saying it though?
This dogmageddon world now, like, you know what I mean? It's like you can't say anything no more. It's like oh, you have a problem with my dog, like, you know what I mean? But it's just about it's a matter of we're in a public place, other cousins have to sit there after, and
people have allergies,
and it's just your dog is literally barefoot outside, you know what I mean? And you licking whatever, and now it's on the couch, paws and all, like, So, I mean, I wanted to say something, but I didn't. But there was this, hood, black girl who came in there, and I guess that particular day she just had a problem with, gentrification. So it was a lot of things that went into play, and she like cursed that dude out for that dog out of nowhere. I haven't seen any of them since that day. This is like years ago, But she cursed the dude out to the point where the guy left. And in my head, I was like, I wish you did it better. But I like that she did it. So it was like, but the way she did it was totally wrong. It was like too much. Like, but it's what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just the audaciousness of it sometimes. Like, you know, to me,
it's the audacity for me.
It's like you be subtle with it. Like, you know what I mean? You put it on the, you know, to me, I don't have a problem. I think if you have a dog, I have no problem with a dog coming to establishment. What I do not think is that it depends on the dog, right? If it's a small dog, I see people have dogs and I don't even know they have the dogs because they have like a carrier, whatever. Yeah. So they sit in there.
Small dogs and carriers.
Yeah,
we're not talking about
have a huge dog that's taking up the walking area, Lassie. You know, and then it's like you're in there for hours and you're just not even thinking about it. It's just like, come on, you gotta think about other people too. Like, you know, it's not. To me, that's a little selfish. You know what I mean? You're in this spot like that. You know, but if you bring a dog, I have no problem with it. If it's like a to-go order, if you're waiting in there with a dog, stuff like that, no problem with it. But it's like,
and that was different, yeah.
Yeah, when he spent hours in there with a huge dog that's taking up half the space. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't, and these days you can't even say anything. I think, you know, right now, like, you know, it's just too many options. Like, especially in New York. Like,
for men and women.
Both. You know, both. Like, you know, it's just too many options. New York is like a crazy place. Like, you know, it's like,
shout out to New York, man.
Think about New York. If you really wanted to, you could meet a new person every day.
Facts.
Whether you go to the bar, or you on the internet, you on some site, you can literally meet a new person every day. And I think because of that, people don't really value connections. And they really don't value, like, you know, you have somebody in front of you who you have the most chemistry with, and then like one little bump in the road happens, like, and you don't even want to work on it. You just be like, oh, whatever. And I think subconscious because you feel like, yo, I can meet somebody tomorrow. But you can't always capture that chemistry again.
Yeah.
You know, and the grass is always green on the other side. Like, you know, like some people want to be like this Lothario with a million women or with a bunch of guys that they could, you know, take them out or get them something. And when you're on the other side, you may want that relationship. So it's like always green on the other side. Like, you know what I mean? For me, I think what you have is like the most amazing thing. And at the end of the day, that's what we all looking for. I mean, it comes with trials and nothing is perfect. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, but at the end of the day, we're all dating aimlessly. Some people are dating aimlessly, and at the end of the day, most people want to end up where you're at.
So,
you know what I mean?
I salute to that. Shout out to Lil Rip. I've been married a decade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married 10 years, bro. 2 kids. This shit is a lot of fucking work. And I think people, it's funny, all of our people's, again, shout out to Rogers Garden, shout out to the Rum Bar, shout out to Kawana at Sweet Catch, the House. Shout out to all of our people's, you know, we rock with a lot of people, right? I hear that a lot, like, yo, you guys are like goals. And I think I was intentional when I picked the person I wanted to be my wife because I felt like I had a pretty wide sample size.
Sure.
Right? Like, I was outside, right?
And that's important though, because you were outside, now a lot of your curiosities are gone.
Now here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
There was guys that was running around with me that had baddies with a very similar makeup to my wife that they could have made an honest woman out of, right? Like, the things I cared about in terms of, like, can you maintain a household? But also, do you want to maintain a household, right? Like,
for sure.
Because for me, I look at not the woman as much, but it's like your parents.
Yeah.
Like, early on when we was dating, I would slide through there on a Friday night, and they got, like, if it's not a fete, it's a family game night, but it's like fete/barbecue. I'm like, yo, I love the energy.
Yeah.
Very close to the family. Because I'm close to my family too, but not in the same kind of way.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, wait, this is where she's coming from? So it's like, I don't got to teach her how to be a woman.
Yeah.
Because she's close to her dad.
Yeah.
And she got an older brother.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to the bro.
Yeah.
And she got a first cousin that act like the older bro too. Shout out to Drew. Right? So she knows what it's like to experience alpha male masculine energy. So if I'm on some like, yo, I need a sandwich. Now, I'm gonna say this on camera too, is like, she knows how to cater to me, but at the same time, it's like, if she's like, yo, listen, I'm legit tired, get it yourself. I'm not gonna be on some like, oh, you don't love me, right?
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, she isn't thrown off by like, letting me do what I do as a man. Like, even to be able to maintain years of podcasting, right? Late nights, early mornings, on top of my career. She's just like, yo, go ahead.
She helps.
She designed this. She contributes because it's like she understands the purpose of it, right? And we've evolved through kids and that kind of stuff. Now, on the flip side, it's like, oh, it's a girls' trip. For what? Usher. You better go see Usher, right? But I'm like, you know what? Here.
That should be in the relationships.
But I'm like, yo, here. Fly first class. Because I'm not worried about Usher. Now, I can't dance and skate like Usher.
Yeah.
But Usher,
you know what y'all got.
if you take my chick, then she's not my chick.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact.
But I think the era of, yo, you got one, lock it down, is dying. And
really, but I feel like it's dying 50% because women are also more outside.
Now here's the thing.
You know what I mean? Because women are also, you gotta look at this.
I agree with you.
My mother had me when she was 24. And that's just the way it was back then. Now, like, you can't tell a woman 20s having some kids. Most of the time, they like,
push that shit out to
they push it to their 30s because they want to have that time. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's wrong with that. But I think that's also a reason of why we're perpetually dating. And I'm not saying I'm a saint, because I'm not. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm a saint, but I'm also saying that it's also because...
You were St. Patrick?
Nah, I ain't saying... Oh, who, Jamie?
No,
St. Patrick.
James and Tariq. Not now, Tasha. I lost the love of my life. Shout out to Angie Valdez, man. Rest in peace, Angie Valdez, man.
We miss you, Angie, man. We don't want to be there.
We miss you, Angie Valdez. We miss you, Angie Valdez.
We don't want to be there. We do, man. That was hard. But I think that's definitely plays a major part in that because, you know, they say that's also like marriage, right? Who benefits the most from marriage?
Women.
No. Men. That's what that's what they say. We could debate that, but they say men because, right? Women come home, like you said, caregivers, take care of the household. And you know, a lot of times when we really have problems, we don't go to our best friends. We don't go to our homies and show them that part of us. We usually go to our shorty. You know what I mean? And women already have that because they already do that with their friends. So it's like they already have that safety net of like, I can bear my emotions to, but we usually do that with our women. So now, like, so they say the reason marriage and everything is happening late is because women are more so, they have their own careers, they get into the bag, and they just want to have fun.
Here's a cheat code. LaRib by trade is a social worker. So, if y'all date a social worker or a therapist, you could double down because she's going to tell you. Now, I personally don't tell my wife, I don't tell her stuff, but I don't look to her to be my therapist. I have my own Dr. P. Shout out to Dr. P, my therapist.
Shout out Dr. P.
She's amazing, well-known therapist. Not accepting clients because she always tells me, if you say my name on camera, tell them I'm not accepting any more clients.
You know, I was just about to ask about that too, so now I know.
But but she'll make a referral. But now she's awesome. But it's like the benefit for a man in marriage, I think, is structure, right? Because you're not chasing tail.
Exactly.
You're cementing your legacy. Because for me as a man, I think the purpose or the importance of my life now is to make my last name live beyond
legacy.
Right, legacy. To me, I've lived already.
It's mine. Yeah.
I've lived already.
We all gonna pass. But what we leave behind?
Bingo. Yeah. I've been outside. I've had fun. Yeah. Like I've traveled. Whatever. So now for my progeny, I try to make them feel like, you know what, the world is yours. And sometimes I feel like I'm on borrowed time, but I never want to manifest like I'm out at the mall. Yeah. It's more so like, in the same debate, you know, shout out to Shooter from Burger Gang because that's one of my favorite rappers. But what he said was like, yo, I don't preach to the young guys. I tell them, I've been where you've been. But the challenge for you is not to shade me. Basically, you got to make it to where I'm at. Yeah. I've been where you at, but you got to make it over here. That's so the challenge is,
that's real.
Like, if you can look on it, like watch my episodes and be like, oh, who's he? Do your Googles, but also make it to where I'm at, because I didn't have my fun outside.
Yeah.
And now, can you make it to where I'm at? So when I critique like the Sukianas and the Sexy Reds, my critique is like, that's not what it is. No. And folks will say, well, Lil' Kim did it and Luke did it. And I'm like, they did. The difference is, though, is that the Sukiana and all that now and the Sexy Red is now the mainstream. Yeah. The Lil' Kim, Trick Daddy Luke was a subset. Back then on the radio, you would hear Jaheim, and he was saying, nothing I won't do to get back tight with you. Yeah. Or girl, you can have anything. Yeah. As opposed to now, the chicks are saying, or Sukiana said, and Sukiana, listen, if you hear this, I'm not coming at you personally. I don't know you, whatever. But the messaging of my pussy good, that's why I stay pregnant. That's an actual fucking lyric. That shit is crazy to me. I got a daughter, bro.
Yo, but that's the fact.
I got a daughter.
But that's the fact I was gonna say. My only problem, I don't have no problem with. I don't know. We could call it artistic expression.
Call it that.
You know, I have no problem, you know, with any of the lyrics because it's fun. Like when I'm in a party, I'm in a club, and you know, women be like, "My booty hole," and they look at their friends and they vibe out. So what I think is that
if a chick look at you and say, "My pussy good, that's why I stay pregnant," and look at you, what you gonna do? You're out of there. You're fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of there.
You out of there.
You know what I mean? I'm out of there.
You're back immediately.
You know, I'm out of there. But you know. But what I'm gonna say about it, it's fun for like us. It's fun for our age group. My only like thing about it is like
30+ age group is fun.
Or 20s, but these little girls, like, you know, like your daughter, like they have to listen to that. They may put that on their iPhone, and you know when we are not around, you don't know what they listening to. You know what I mean? And it's like that's to me that's really kind of like gives them such a warped and like a wrong sense of like how to be a woman. How to be a girl.
Especially when you know there's a machine pushing that shit to the forefront.
It's kind of like what gangster rap was for us. It's like this, because now we don't really got gangster rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we do though.
We do, but we don't. Gunna.
He's still talking gangster.
I mean, in 1990 something, he couldn't even come outside. And that's if you said he snitched or not, that's a subjective thing again.
Yeah, but like in the 90s, so technically he didn't snitch.
Yeah, you know.
In my opinion,
a lawyer, I don't think he snitched. But people would say
he didn't snitch. He didn't snitch.
Yeah. The only reason why people say he snitched is because that video came out, and that was a tactical thing that the prosecutors did. If that video never came out, he would have been able to run with it. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was just like, I don't have to prosecute. I can't testify. I can't do this. You know, but I'm just saying, like, they used to push this gangster shit on us. But I don't really feel gangster music no more like how it was.
But here's the thing, too. I don't rock with gangster music either, but what I also don't like is this whole setup of our community romanticizes niggerisms and like all this like I don't say street, but all of this negativity. We glamorize negativity, and it's just like having worked in courts, having had family that been through the court system. 9 out of 10, y'all not built for none of that, and y'all not built to go through the court system. I done visited friends in the worst of worst prisons. I got family that worked in prisons. Dog.
I spent one night in jail. I'll never go back. I don't know how people do it, bro. I mean, obviously, you know, we conditioned to like adapt, but one night in jail, and I said never again. Like, you know, because it's a crazy condition to be. And to think about, not even, I don't know how we got here. Think about like Gunna, because I want people to like understand. Like, I don't even think Gunna was really involved in that gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just an artist.
An artist. Yeah, man. So, tell them where they can find you if they need you, man.
I know you can find me at Lips Cafe. We located at 1412 Nostrand Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11226. You know, we on Linden we're on Nostrand between Linden and Martins. If you know anything about Flatbush, you know that's like part of the mecca of it.
Lip Block.
The Lip Block. You know, Lil Caribbean gave us that name, and they located on there too. If you go to that block in general, you know, there's a lot of dope black businesses and a lot of people that's invested and grew up in that neighborhood that really care about Flatbush and that block. So it's just amazing energy every day to be involved in.
Yeah, man. And we got a bunch of stuff in the works.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff gonna be panning out, but you already know where to find us. What's your parting words for them, like in terms of like your inspirational words? If you want to leave them with something.
Definitely. Chance favors a prepared mind. My father told me that, and his words I live by. You know, if you're not prepared, if you're not ready, then luck will never happen to you because you're not going to be ready for that chance opportunity. So I always advise everybody to just be ready and just always have themselves just prepared for anything that could happen. Because your dream could come true. It come true right now. It comes true tomorrow. But if you're not prepared for it, if you're not ready for it, then it's never going to happen regardless. So that's my point words.
I can't even follow that up. Tap in with us at Savoir Brooklyn on your favorite Instagram, your favorite Twitter, your favorite IG. Tap into at Lips Cafe.
You know the vibes.
Subscribe.
You gonna see them big red lips pop up.
There you go, man. Over and out.
Over and out.